Hey, what's up everyone? In this video we're going to learn how to validate a input from a form, and we're actually going to check if the input has only numbers. Now we're going to use regular expressions for this, and I'm also going to really quickly show you how this works. So if I enter any letters, hit submit, I'm going to get an alert input numeric characters only, and this button will turn red. Now if we input alphabetic and numeric characters, we'll get the same. If we then input only numbers and hit enter, registration number accepted, and we get our match. So let's get started with this project. Hey everyone, just a really quick note before we get started with the video. This video is part of my full JavaScript course, so if you want to check that out, I'm going to leave a link in the description below. I'm also going to leave a coupon code attached to that link so you can get the best price possible. Now on another note, we are now on Patreon, so if you want to support us and supporting our cause for creating this kind of free content, then please consider becoming a Patreon. Okay, so that's enough from your time. Let's get into the video. Now on the left side, just have a empty folder, and let's create it in here our index.html. In here, we're going to create a boilerplate, shift exclamation mark. Then up here, I'm also going to include materialize CDN. So let's go to materialize.css.com, click on get started, and it's going to send us to this site, and we're going to copy the CDN. Okay, let's hit copy, paste it in, and also link up our style.css. So link style.css. Okay, so we got this part set up. Now let's go back into our body and start creating our h1, which we have a class of title. And within here, we're going to type in form validation. After this, we're going to have an h2. This will also have a class of title. We will type in within here, validate numbers. After that, we're going to have an h4, class title again, and within here, we're going to type in input your registration number. Okay, now after that, we're going to have a form tag, which we're going to leave empty. So it's not going to go anywhere. And within here, we're going to have an input tag with a type of text and the ID of numbers. Now for the placeholder, we're going to type in enter numbers only. Okay, after that, we're going to have a second input tag, and within here, we're going to leave this as a type of submit, and we're also going to give it a class of btn, and this will take the style. Then let's also open this up using live server. So right click, open with live server. I'm going to open up here. So the button is going to use from the class of btn the CDN of materialize.css, and it's going to use those classes. So that's pretty much it for our HTML. Let's also include our script tags. So script source, let's call this numbers.js. Okay, let's hit save. Now let's also create a style tag. So style tag, style file, style.css. And for this, I'm actually just going to copy in the CSS, not much CSS, but I don't want to waste your time styling this. So we have a body with max width 700 pixels, margins auto, line height 2, background color, this darkish color of the text, not a white but a grayish color, and the form has a specific height and margins auto. Now the class of title has text align to the center, margins bottom of 2 rem, so we have always each class has 2 rem margin to the bottom and a bit of a text shadow. The h1 with the class of title has a text transform to uppercase, and the h2 with the class of title has a different color. Now also the input tag, so with the type of text, so this one, has a different color when we type something in here, and the font size is increased to 2. Now the input, the type of text, and the placeholder has, as you can see, a gray color. So if we don't have anything within here, we only need to have a gray color. And also the button has a width of 100%. That's why the button has the width of its container. Okay, now let's create our JavaScript file. And what do we call this? We call this numbers. So let's create our numbers.js. And let's get started by carrying on for the first input. We're going to go with a const. So we're going to create a variable const, call it input. And we're going to go to the document. We're going to use let's use query selector. So query selector, and we're going to select the input tag with the type. I'm going to keep typing input tag with the type of text. So we're going to open and close braces and type in here type equals text. And this should be within quotations. Okay, hit save. And also let's close this one up. There's something in right here. Text, you should be double quotes, and also you should have double quotes. Okay, that's much better. Okay, now next up we're going to create another const, and we're going to create now a submit btn. And this will be the submit button. Now let's go to the document.query selector again. And this time we're going to grab on using query selector of the input tag. So input tag with, it should be between quotations. So input tag with the type of submit. And this should be also within quotations. Okay, let's hit save. Now let's console log both of them so we know we grabbed onto the right thing. So first of all the submit, then comma, and the submit button. Let's hit save, and let's also open up our console with inspect, and then let's go to the console and we get one error, submit after argument. What? This should be again between double quotes. Hit save, and there we go. It's still not working. Query selecting document input is not a valid selector. Huh, wait, what? Oh, I have an equality in here. Sorry about that. Input. Okay, there we go. So we got our input button and we got our input field. Okay, next up, let's create a function. Okay, next up, let's grab onto the submit btn and add an event listener to it. And we're going to add a event listener of the type of click. And when this click happens, we're going to launch a function called, let's call it all numeric. Let's call it all numbers. All numbers. Okay, let's hit save. And now we need to create our function. So let's use a keyword function. Let's call upon the function all numbers. Now within this function, we're going to first of all prevent the default behavior of the form. So prevent default. And within here, the argument will be then the event itself. So we can now no longer submit our form. We're actually going to just prevent that default submit behavior of submitting nothing. Okay, next up, let's first of all check the type of our input. So we check type of, and I'm going to check this submit btn. So let's see what we get. We get that we didn't type in the right thing in here. Now when I click on submit, it's going to give me the type of the input tag. Now because I don't have it in here, it's going to give me object. If I type something in here and hit on submit, it's going to give me object again. I actually want to type in the, okay, so now let's console log the type of input. Now if I click on submit, it's going to get me object. If I type something in here, it's going to give me object again. now if I type in the value, so the type of the input value, and it's going to get me a string. And if I type in some numbers, it's still going to get me a string. Now, this is very important because if we take a look in our HTML, we did tell it that the type of the input is text. So if I would get here number, then I will be surprised. And this is why we're checking. Well, I just could transform this into number. Let's very quickly do this. Number. And if I hit save, you will see we can only type in here numbers. Okay, this would be also something, but this is not what we're trying to do. So let's go back to text, hit save, go back in here. So we saw that the type of our input, doesn't matter what we type in, is the type of string. So it's text actually. Now let's go down here and let's create a const and call it numbers, and we're going to assign it a regular expression. So // and within here we will use first of all a caret, so it must start with a number, and with this we're going to use brackets, and it should go from 0 to 9. Okay, and let's also plus and $sign. Okay, next step is to create a condition. And this condition will be following. If the input, so if the input dot value dot matches, so we're going to use dot match the regular expression, so this variable of numbers, then let's just alert within here a string of registration number accepted. Okay, so let's try this out. We click something in here, enter, nothing happens. Going to just console log me this string. If I type in numbers, click on submit, then hey, that means that this is true. Now else, we're going to alert another string of please input numeric characters only, and exclamation mark. Okay, so let's try this again. We are going to please input characters only, and let's also condition it so it cannot be empty. Let's use here a AND operator, and let's say input.value and cannot be a empty string. Let's hit save. So if this is empty, then please input numeric characters only. If there's something in here, please input numeric characters only. If we type in the characters, then we have acceptance. Okay, so that's pretty easy. Now let me also include our, let me also clear the field after we're done. So we just need to take our input.value again, and let's set it to a empty string. So after we're done here, I click on submit, it's okay, and it's going to be cleared. Now next up I'm going to just include two more things for the buttons. So this would be, hey, if we're accepted, then we're going to give it, the value will be matched for the button, and it's going to change the class with using toggle to a green class, and if it does not match, then we're going to take our submit btn, change each class list to red. So we're going to have a red class list for materialize CSS, and it's going to change the value. So instead of submit, we're going to have try again. So let's click on it. We're obviously not going to match. We're going to change it to red, try again. If we have a successful submission, then we're going to get match. And you can see down here we're still getting strings. So although I'm typing in numbers, hitting submit, it's logging a string, but it's matching this regular expression. So that means that I misspelled here something. The register. There we go. Okay, so it means that it's working. Okay guys, so that's pretty much it. If you liked the video, thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. If you have any kind of suggestions, please leave them in the comments below, or any kind of questions. And catch you next time. Bye bye.